Sandra here, Create in Spain, and today I am making a box, but it's a box with a specific purpose. But to start off with, I have my box cut out, I've got my score lines done, and I've got some decorative panels. So the first thing I want to do on this is to add my decorative panels to the box. It'll be easier to put it on now than it will be to put it on later. And they have a slight offset, so you just centre them up and just put them on. There we are. So you want to do that with all four. Got all four on here, so now I want to do my top section. I have this piece here and this piece, and I want to stick those together so that the holes match up. Now the reason that I'm doing this particular design is quite specific. These days there are a lot of people using these makeup blending brushes to blend inks and things in their craft room, and if they are slightly damp, you really do want to try and make sure that you dry them off, or that you can allow them to air dry without being crushed. And you really don't want to crush them. If you're putting them in a drawer, you don't want to crush them like that either. So this will allow me to keep my brushes quite neatly on a shelf in the craft room, and I will then not have a problem. Now I've made far more holes than I actually have brushes, and I've included some smaller holes as well, so I could put a tool or a pen or something like that in between them as well. So I've also got a decor panel for the top, so that will go over the top, and it is slightly offset for the inside score line as well. Put some glue on that one. Now the one that I put inside is simply to reinforce it, and this one is just to decorate it. So the top's going to be nice and sturdy. There we go. So now that is done, I can allow that to dry a little bit, and I can do the folding on here. All my score lines are already there, so I just have to fold them up. I've folded all my score lines, and I generally prefer to use tape, double-sided tape, for things like boxes. It depends on how strong your tape is, to be quite honest, but I tend to prefer it because it's going to grab it quickly. The other thing is, you can always put a layer of tape on the inside over that, because you're not going to see it, it's going to be closed up anyway, and it just gives you a little bit of extra strength on those corners. And on these last two, put the tape on before you close it up. It'll be far easier than it will be to put the tape on once you've got one edge folded up. Like that. So we have our box base. Pretty standard. Just going to put a couple of pieces of tape on the inside again. Checking which side I've got the edge. It's there. That bit can just be trimmed off. Said I would suggest putting something to weight this down. I was going to use dried rice, or uncooked rice I should say, not dried. I was going to use rice, but I don't happen to have any spare at the moment, and it's a Sunday, so I can't get any. So now for the top, and this is pretty self-explanatory. Fold it on the score lines again, like that, and fold the little tabs in. Now I'm hoping that this is going to fit. I wanted it to be a tight fit, so I've only allowed a very small allowance for the top. Normally it has to be a little bit bigger because obviously it's got to go over the top of that. So this time I'm going to use my small bottle of glue and pinch the sides together. Hope that it's big enough to go over the top. And yes, it fits perfectly. Hey! Oh, that's great. Now, I don't need the tile. What I'm talking about is this thing here, which doesn't look like anything special, but it's going to allow me to keep my glue gun upright. Yay, without a problem. So all this is some of this modelling foam, because that just happened to be what I had. You could use the normal air drying clay, something like that, for it if you wanted to. And it was beginning to dry out anyway because I hadn't used this piece. I'd opened the packet and there was some left in there. And rather than throw it out, I thought, I've been meaning to make a stand for my glue gun for ages. And so I just made it into a rough shape and pressed the glue gun into it. And I'll leave the glue gun there until it is fully dried. This is air drying and it's going to take a couple of days probably to dry out completely. But then I'll have a nice stand for my glue gun. Obviously, when it's dried, I can paint it, glitter it, do what I want to do with it. And then I'll just be able to keep this in a drawer ready for when I'm using my glue gun and I want it to stand upright rather than falling down onto the surface, which is what it usually does. I will leave a link to the file below. Hope you've enjoyed this quick video and I'll see you again soon. Take care now.